Hey, what is going on, everybody? Coach Justin here, the Cops Coach. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Coach Justin here, the Cops Coach. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Thursday. So, yes, your screen should be looking like this, where it's like half of me and maybe even like half of a whiteboard. So, hopefully, if you guys like this method, so it looks like almost like classroom style, where you get to see me visually write stuff down. Let me know. Put in the comments like the word classroom if you're going to like this type of learning. So, some of the things that we are going to cover today are the 6 essential exercises that every cop dad should be doing on a weekly basis if you actually want to gain real strength and real muscle. I guess this presentation would not be for you. If you're a person who doesn't want to add any muscle or add any strength, maybe put that in the comments. Like, no, Justin, I want to be weaker. I want to be puny. I want to be a string bean. Well, like, if that is you, then you can just save yourself, over the next, 20-ish minutes, 30 minutes maybe, and just click out of this video. So, why I decided to run this kind of training, and I guess before I dive into that, like, why listen to me? Well, during this program that I have had, and I can put my before and afters pictures inside the comments, but strength wise, over the course of say a 12-week cycle, I've been consistently being able to add 40 pounds to my bench press or my deadlifts and squats. I've had students like Riley who added 60 pounds to his deadlift in 12 weeks. He also added 40 pounds to his bench press. He's at 185. His goal, he told me day one, was get to 225. He thought it would take him 6 months based on past experiences. He got that in 3 months. I've also had Jason, who went from a bench of 145 to 225, an 80-pound increase in 12 weeks. Now, all these guys also, it's not just a strength athlete. They also have the muscle size to also have that physique. Because I don't know about you, but when I have a physique that I'm happy with, which generally for most of us that is big chest, bigger arms, flatter stomach, we feel more confident. And how many of you have also had that confidence to where, yeah, you just have that confidence where it just shows up in every way. You just have an extra pep in your step. You're more positive. You're more energetic when you have that confidence. And maybe on the vice versa, maybe you are someone who kind of let themselves go. You put your health and fitness on the back burner. You put your workouts on the back burner so that you can pick up those extra shifts because things are getting more expensive. You put yourself on the back burner so that you can be more present with your family. Helping with your wife, taking care of the kids when you get home from shift. So you just feel like that maybe for a little while that you put yourself on the back burner. Well, we don't want to have that inside our community, and you especially don't want to have that when you're in this line of work. All right, so using kind of the whiteboard of using from my experience things that I have done in the past or my students have done in the past of things that you would want to avoid and me to explain. So things to avoid, and that's coming up. Go to this little marker. Avoid. Okay. Perfect. So you want to avoid basically muscle groups. Let's put in the comments more training by muscle groups. So me growing up, and I used bodybuilding.com. Who uses bodybuilding.com still? I find all these free plans on there, where it's Arnold Schwarzenegger's, Jim Stepani's, and it's always associated by muscle groups. So like you have a chest day, back day, leg day. Of course, you have to have arm day. And make sure you're not skipping leg day, okay? And you lift by like the muscle groups. So the reason why you want to maybe avoid this, and this is my opinion only. Okay, this is my opinion. Number one, like you move your body as a unit, not just a muscle group. Like when you're out on the job, like I don't know like how many motions I say like for like you do like a chest fly, you know, and that kind of stuff, or like a leg extension and that kind of stuff. You don't. Okay, and like things that get like you want things to like get interconnected. My battery's telling me that like I'm dangerously low. There we go. So like you want to make sure that you move your body as a unit, so maybe you should like train your body moving as a single unit. Number two, like when it comes to more like strength, there's more to it than just the muscles itself. You know, there are some of the ligaments, there are some of the joints that connect, you know, the muscles. You want it to all be like working together. There's a lot of things with the bodybuilding world to where like with the muscle groups that you do compound movements, which I'm all for the compound movements. But then there's a lot of isolation movements like bicep curl or leg extension, like you're isolating just like one area, and that's not really how your body works. Okay, so I avoid in my training by muscle groups. I don't have like a leg day or an arm day, and neither do my students. Okay, so and most of the time when people train by muscle groups, then people only train them like 1 to 2 times per week. Okay, a lot of it is because then like because you train 1 to 2 times per week, because you need that long time to recover, because you are training to failure. Put in the comments muscle failure. Now, why do you want to avoid this? Well, how many of you have trained legs so hard where it's hard for you to just get in and out of the squat car? Or even climbing steps is hard. Now imagine then like there's a call come out to where that you have to like, I don't know, run this flight of stairs to get, you're the first one to arrive to a scene to a medical. You beat the ambulance there. You need to climb all these flights of stairs. There's no elevator to get to someone who is maybe having a heart attack. Or that you have to chase after a perp. You know, what if you train your chest and shoulders so hard where you're fried here, feeling tight, and now you have to like defend yourself in a fight when a perp is trying to, well, fight you, try to take your gun. Like if you are working, again, I'm not picking on, like there might be some people in this group who are admin. I'm not saying this to pick on you. But if you are working generally like a desk job, where most of the time then like your physical ability, your physical fitness isn't at, and your life necessarily isn't at risk because you're not on the street like on patrol where you're around potential danger, then maybe that you could train to failure. But you can't train failure to a point where you can't now perform your job. Okay? I don't think anyone wants to put themselves in a position, not only for their own life, or if you feel like you're fine, what about your partners? Like you just say like someone's fighting behind a fence and like it hurts so bad to like reach up to try to pull yourself over that fence and like you're just too sore. So you want to avoid training to failure like like too many, I mean, people have this belief that the only way to grow muscle is if you train to failure on every set, and that's just certainly not the case. You know, again, I'll put my before and after my 12-week transformation in this latest one, and I think you could see that I've gained some muscle mass, and I did not train to failure on every single set. So you want to avoid training to failure. Okay. And with this method, so we're going to erase all this. So put in the comments, like, maybe like if there's any specific lifting programs that you are currently doing right now. Also, you're open to putting your questions in the comments as well. I see it over on my screen right here. So with this new method, which now I'll get into, what makes it different. Number one, you're focusing on, that looks silly right there. So why this is different. Don't make fun of my chicken scratch, okay? So number one, you're focusing on movement patterns. Put in the comments, movement patterns. Now I ask you to play along and just like, hey, put in the comments movement patterns, because then also it's like makes me know that you're like kind of paying attention. And when the number one currency in my mind is focus. So then if you're actually participating by putting in the comments like movement patterns, then makes me know you're paying attention. So movement patterns. So rather than focusing on a muscle group like my chest, I'm thinking on a movement pattern like horizontal press. Okay, because now I'm not just thinking of like, hey, like how to make the pecs bigger. How can I get stronger in this movement pattern that I might be doing on the street? So I'm not just thinking about my chest. I'm thinking of like my shoulders, my triceps, and everything in this plane of motion. Okay. What makes this method unique is that you only need to really focus on 1 to 3 exercises over doing like 10 different exercises. EX is just exercises. Because kind of in the bodybuilding thing, I think this is just where we just confuse us. We'll just take like, who loves chest day? Everybody loves chest. If you love chest day, put in the comments chest. But then people get confused about what do they need to do. Like, I got like flat bench, I got incline bench, I got decline bench. Oh, you know, but do I do it with a barbell? Do I do it with a dumbbell? Oh, like, what about machines? Like, do I need to be doing cable flies? Am I doing cable flies with a dumbbell or a machine? Or what about dips? You know, and what about pullovers and that kind of stuff? Like, you don't need to do 10 different exercises to like get, say, a bigger chest. Okay. And there's put in the comments the phrase inch wide, mile deep. Inch wide, mile deep. So what makes this program different, or makes this like training different, is that you don't need 10 different exercises, which can be confusing. Also, it's harder to gain incredible strength if you're like having 10 different focuses on what to get stronger at. Also, then it feels like then another disservice to you as a cop dad. You're in the gym way longer than you need to be. Like if you're trying to do 10 different chest exercises, you're in the gym for what? 2 hours, 3 hours? Versus most of my students, you know, are working out 60 minutes. Sometimes less, 45, sometimes maybe a little more, 75 minutes. Okay, well, if I'm really dialed in, I can get done in like 60, 75 minutes. Okay, so you only need to do 1 to 3 exercises per movement pattern. 1 to 3 exercises per movement pattern. Third, what makes this different is that normally, again, if you're just focusing on muscle groups, you're only training maybe like 1 to 2 times per week. Here, you are training it 3 times per week. And I don't know about you, but now if I'm hitting a movement pattern 3 times per week versus 1 or 2, my strength is going to increase a heck of a lot faster. And also my muscle gains, because I'm just training that movement pattern more often. And fourthly, of what makes, I guess we're here for the movement patterns, but I'm going into, I don't know, I kind of glitched out on me. I don't know why I did that for a sec. But you vary your intensity and volume. Okay? So like not every single week, like week to week, I hit the same amount of volume. And volume in this case is sets reps. Put in the comments sets reps. Okay? So I don't do like 5 by 10 every single week. It varies. You know, some week I might be doing 5 by 10. Well, I don't even do that, but we'll just get to that. But I don't do the same amount of sets and reps every single week, and I don't do the same amount of weight session to session, a week to week. So, the 6 movement, so now I kind of set the stage. Okay, what are these 6 movement patterns that you need to be hitting every single week? And probably hitting it multiple times in that week. Okay, so I started the call like or titling like 6 exercises, but I want you to think about more like 6 movement patterns, because then if you know the 6 movement patterns, it's very easy to identify what exercises you can do in the pattern. So let's start with our upper body. Most people love their chest, but instead I want you to think about horizontal press. Okay, like this is horizontal to my body, and I'm pressing away from me. Okay, so 1 to 3 exercises that you can choose. I mean, flat bench. So for like me, like if I had to pick 3, flat bench, incline bench, and dips. So if I'm just going underneath, A is flat, preferably a barbell, but you can use dumbbells. B is incline. C is dips. So I chose like those like 3s because then like even though it's like a horizontal movement pattern, horizontal press, I'm getting like different angles. Flat bench, again, doesn't matter if it's dumbbells or barbell, but it's more angled flat here. Incline, my body's positioned a little different. It's still a horizontal press. And even dips, even though I'm moving up and down vertically, like it's still considered a horizontal press. So those are the 3 ones I do. Like push-ups would be another example of horizontal press. Okay? So put in the comments, horizontal press. It's probably people's favorite. So then now, what's the opposite of a horizontal? What's the opposite of a press? A pull. So another pattern that you hit is horizontal pull. Think about all the types of rows. Okay? So whether it's, doesn't matter again, if it's a barbell or a dumbbell or a kettlebell or a cable, okay, doing a horizontal pull. When you look at horizontal pulls, look at your grip position. So literally the 3 different pulls that I do, and it can all be with like a barbell. I have one where my palms are like facing toward me. I have a second one where now my palms are like facing each other. And then I have a pull where my palms are facing away. Okay. It just so happens, so then like for me, like the palms toward me and away from me. I don't need any other pieces. I can just grab onto it and go. Whereas with the palms facing each other, I have like that V handle that you might have on a cable machine that you pull. I put it underneath one end of the barbell, put the other end of the barbell into like a corner, and then I pull. Okay? So, put in the comments horizontal pulls, and then maybe put in the comments like your favorite exercises of rows, and maybe your favorite exercises for horizontal presses. Okay? The third one is now, what's the opposite of horizontal? Vertical. So we got vertical presses. Okay? So essentially like shoulder presses. Again, it doesn't matter if it's with a barbell, dumbbell, kettlebell. Okay? I love like a double kettlebell press personally. You can also do it with a barbell. If you want a little variety, you can do what's called a seesaw. If you have like kettlebells, one hand up, one arm down, and then you're just going between left and right. Okay, but you have vertical presses. So put in the comments vertical presses, shoulder presses. So now I'm going to have to. Hopefully, again, you're taking notes. You're putting in the comments because I'm going to have to erase it. I'll pause for dramatic effect before I erase. All right, perfect. So, okay. So, can you guess then if we said horizontal push pull, and then we get a vertical push or vertical press, I mean whichever. What is fourth? What could be a fourth one? Vertical pull. You guessed it. So think of like pull-ups and chin-ups. So just kind of like with the horizontal pull. My three variations I like to do is like pull-ups would be like palms away from me. I will do chin-ups so like pull-ups, I'll do like shoulder width and then one finger width wider on my grip. For chin-ups, my palms are toward my chin and it's like narrower. Then I also have neutral. Now if I'm on a pull-up bar, what I have to do is that like if I'm grabbing on the bar, like I have to like hold the bar like this, and then maybe I face the other way. So then like I have a different palm facing me like each time as I'm doing a more of a neutral grip. Okay. So you can do lat pull downs, like so if you don't have the strength to do a pull up chin up, like lat pull downs can be good too. And with the lat pull down attachment, again, you can do palm away, palm towards you, and also neutral as well. Okay? So put in the comments, pull-ups. Okay? Let's see, like put in the comments like how many pull-ups that you can do. Right now, my PR is like for a weighted pull-up is with a 40 kilo, which is 88 pounds. But I think the most pull-ups I've done, it's like 21 or 22. One of those for just body weight. And no, that was strict form, no kipping involved. Okay, so the fifth one. So we covered all the upper body movement patterns. The fifth movement pattern is a squat. Okay, so now depending upon what your goal is, you can preference of like what kind of squats that you should be doing. If you have a question on that, I can send you like a very informative link of like the pros to like each, like where one squat might have more of an advantage over another based on what you're trying to train for. So put in the comments like squat article and I can like send you that. But like for the most part, like if you're looking for the most muscle mass, back squat is going to be like the best one for that. If you're looking, I mean, also like, while we hate them Bulgarian split squats, or maybe now if Trump's watching, you gotta call them American split squats, because, you know, not the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. But that can be good muscle mass. But otherwise, like I like doing front squats. That's what I'm currently doing. I'd say just more like athletics, such as like, you know, it just demands a little bit more core strength, since now the bar is resting in front of you versus the bar sitting on your on your skeletal structure. So I like front squats. But again, like, so if you had to like add variety in, maybe one day you do front squats, another day back squats, and another day Bulgarian split squats. Okay. And the sixth movement pattern is what we call hinge movements. Okay. So like, just for demonstration, like a squat. And if you think about like, so like, when we went with the upper body, we went with like horizontal and vertical. And to me, a squat is more vertical, up and down, whereas the hinge movement is more horizontal, back and forth. Okay. So deadlifts. It's going to be a hinge movement. Romanian deadlifts, hinge movement. Kettlebell swings. If you've been in this group long enough, you know that I love the kettlebell stuff. So doing kettlebell swings is going to be a great hinge movement. Both of those, like, you can do like single leg deadlifts. Okay. So all of those are great options. So when you look at your overall week, you want to make sure that you're doing these 6 movement patterns. Recap. Again, think about just horizontal and vertical. So upper body, I got vertical pushes and I got vertical pulls. I got horizontal pushes and horizontal pulls. I got squats and hinges. And squats is, think of more like a vertical movement with my lower body, and hinges more horizontal. Okay. So you got like the 6 movement patterns. Now, like when I was describing of like, now you might be like, well, how do I formulate these sets and reps? Okay. How do I formulate, how you're talking like now, how are you lifting these movement patterns like 3 days a week versus 1 to 2? You know, I don't know what weights to use. Okay. So if you put in the comments academy, you know, like this, we can go over to see if you'd be a good fit for the Cop Transformation Academy. Okay, inside the academy is my Blue Built Strong program. So again, like, I am for the police officers, and not only do I want you to look strong, so having that muscle mass, but also to be strong as well. Again, testament how I've been able to increase my bench press and lifts every 12 weeks by 40 pounds. And like Riley and Jason had like 60, 80 pound increases. So if you are looking to see if you'd be a good fit for that program, you can just comment or direct message me the word academy, and we can see if the Cop Transformation Academy is for you. And to start, what the process looks like is that we would just chat back and forth on Messenger just to see if you would be a good fit. And then if I get some clarity on some of your goals or some of your biggest struggles, we would hop on a 15-minute discovery call, just to, again, just get a little more information to see if you'd be a good fit and how I'd be able to even support you. It wouldn't be a sales call. You can leave your wallet in your gun safe or your car if need be. So comment or DM Academy if you're interested in learning more details about that. Otherwise, just put your biggest takeaways like from this training. Put in the comments classroom if you like this style, and also just give me feedback on what you think, whether you love it or if you freaking hated it. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe, and let's get those gains. Take care.